What is up, guys? And this camera is like all hold on, let's see this. No, there you go. What's up? Did I break the tripod? No, I didn't. Okay. Oh, sorry. What's up, guys? So we watched The Flash tonight. Well, I watched The Flash tonight, and we had a villain called Blackout, and he was the majority. Well, Barry was majority of obviously of the episode, but Blackout had stolen the energy in his cells, essentially, because he's like a big conductor. He likes to take energy. He's always feeding. And he kind of took his powers away for the majority of the episode. And we had a situation at the police department where Joe works, and Iris was there as well. Basically, I think his name's the Clockmaster. He was on Arrow season 2, I believe, and he came back in this universe. And hold on. Okay, he came back, and he pretty much caused a mayhem in. He had hostages and stuff like that in the police department. Eddie got shot and he was bleeding out, but they saved him. But the whole time, Barry is powerless. He knows what's going on over there, and this electric guy, the Blackout, he was coming for Wells because Wells was the reason why he was, bad. And it was the first time a metahuman had directly tried to go after Wells, Harrison Wells, because his friends died as they tried to touch his body when he got electrocuted. Essentially, he was climbing these power lines, and then the accelerator went off, and then the rest is history. So hopefully you can see me. I can't really see the lens. That'd be embarrassing. So yeah, it was a good episode. It was great. I do think that the Clockmaster, which is played by the guy who played Theodore Bagwell in Prison Break, which is funny because we already had I think his name's it's not Hemsworth. I can't remember his name. The guy who played Schofield on Prison Break, he was in here already. He was Captain Cold. So it was cool seeing another character from that, especially him. He's a really good actor. I like everything he does. So let's see. His little story arc, his little part of the episode, I didn't really like. I didn't find it as entertaining as Barry trying to survive without his powers. So we get to see another side of Harrison Wells as well, because Harrison Wells has always seemed like the good guy. He has a past. He did kill someone in cold blood, though. That was the one thing that kind of puts us on edge about him. But this time you get to see how really bent he is on trying to keep Barry alive. He lets go of the guy he fought last week, the guy that turns all metal. I can't remember his name, but he turns all metal. He let him go and pretty much said, "You're free if you can kill the guy that's in the building," which was Blackout. And essentially he died. And well, comic books, no one ever dies. There's always something. He died in the process, and Barry was mad at Wells. He said, "You don't really care about anybody. You just care about basically not yourself, but you play chess." He's saying, "You play chess. You were all pawns, and what's your next move if he's already dead? Who's next in line if it gets down to me? Who's going to be next in line? Is it going to be Caitlin or Carlos?" So he really got to him on that, and I thought it was really good. But he was freaking out because Barry had lost his powers, and he went to that room where he saw the future, and he was talking to his computer. Apparently his computer has artificial intelligence, and apparently it knows the future. So he said, I think it's called Gideon, look up articles and stuff like that about the Flash, and there was nothing on the Flash about him in the future. He said, try Barry Allen. There was nothing on him. So essentially everything he did in the future was wiped out because he lost his powers. So they had to get his powers back, and the way they did this was they hooked up a generator to the treadmill, the treadmill that he runs on to test his speed and stuff. They hooked it up to it, and then he grabbed onto it, and then they basically, because his cells were exactly the same, they were just powerless, I guess. They were weaker. So they electrocuted him the same way he was electrocuted in his lab. And he sort of got his powers back. He didn't have it. He was vibrating, but he couldn't run. Until Carlos realized, I think his name's Carlos. I think his name is Carlos in the show, or it's his real name. I cannot remember. But he basically said, he had a word for it. Basically, when a golfer or a sports player messes up, they feel so bad it gets to their head, and then they mess up more and more and more. It's almost like when a pitcher gets shell-shocked, or a batter gets shell-shocked. They get hit in the head with a ball, and when they recover and they try to play baseball again, they can't because they're so scared of that ball hitting them again. So that's what essentially was wrong with Barry. So when they were confronted by Blackout, because he was in the facility, the particle accelerator facility, Star Labs, it was Barry, Caitlin, and Carlos. They're all sitting next to each other, and Wells pretty much got his attention and said, "Hey, you want me?" And they had this big talk, and Wells says, "Yeah, I get to live with the regret every day of all the people who died." And he said like a bunch of names, and it turns out all these names are actual like heroes and villains that are actually in the comic books, including God, what's his name? It's Robbie. The actor's name is Robbie Amell. He's gonna be playing Firestorm. I don't even know these names. Why am I doing this? Okay, brain fart again. But yeah. So that's a pretty cool Easter egg that, they named all these superheroes and villains and stuff, which is pretty cool. But at that moment in time, he tried to kill Wells, and Barry had that push to get out of that like kind of shell shock state, and he saved Wells. And then basically there was no like big fight. It was just like him trying to steal the Flash's energy, but he pulled so much of his energy that he pretty much burnt himself out. And the Flash was able to pull it back in somehow. Through the same stream. It was kind of like on Smallville. I think it's the first or second season. We have a situation where this kid is holding a meteor rock, and he gets electrocuted while holding on to Clark's hand, and the powers transferred from Clark Clark was holding on to him, and he was holding a rock, and lightning struck Clark, and it went through him and into the kid, and it gave the kid his powers, and he was left powerless. So it was essentially like that, and they just had to reverse the process, and he got his powers back. See, the way the Flash works is that his cells are full of the energy, kind of like for Superman, his cells feed off solar radiation. So when his cells have solar radiation, they become stronger, so he's able to run fast and be more fast, or be stronger, tolerate more things. And the Flash works the same way, except with energy, and he's, because he's a metahuman and stuff. So all his powers is all pure energy. Like, he's going to be able to phase through walls eventually, so he's going to be able to vibrate so much that he phases through walls, time travel and stuff. So time travel is going to be a big part of this this show, and I'm really looking forward to it. I think we have Arrow versus Flash in next week, next week, because I don't think there's an Arrow episode tomorrow. So next week we have Arrow versus Flash, and then after that we have our mid-season finales for both shows. So we'll have I'm not quite sure what the episode for Arrow is going to be called, but I know the mid-season finale for Flash is called The Man in the Yellow Suit, which is obviously the reverse Flash. But they said when we see the reverse Flash, we won't see his face. He's going to blur it like Barry does. So we won't know, probably not till the end of the actual season. But I'm looking forward to both these shows. These shows are fantastic. I love how they've taken the time for Flash. I mean, Flash was really going to be, it's the new show. I was really worried about it, but it's doing really good. It's doing fine. The actors are fine. The guy who plays Harrison Wells, oh my God, he's fantastic. But I mean, and Arrow's finally gotten that grasp of DC. Like, it's always been, Oliver and stuff like that, but I never felt like
When the sun burns out, we'll light the world with tiny glowing screens. Tiny glowing screens, glowing screens. When the sun burns out, we'll light the world with tiny glowing screens. Tiny glowing screens.
I've seen a person go to shows and raise a lighter app.